Title Seth, the appointed seed, the forgotten prophet. Imagine standing at the edge of the world's first grave. The soil is still fresh, the air is heavy. Silence hangs over the earth like a curse. Humanity has barely begun, and already it has tasted blood. One brother lies lifeless in the dust. The other wanders marked and exiled. Hope seems shattered before history has even found its voice. And in that unbearable silence, after the murder of Abel, after the exile of Cain, a child is born. Not just another son, an appointed one. His name was Seth, and without him, the story of humanity might have ended before it truly began. Genesis tells us that Eve said, "God has appointed me another seed instead of Abel." For Cain killed him. The very name Seth means appointed or granted. He was not simply a child of Adam and Eve, he was a restoration, a divine answer to grief, a continuation of a broken line. To understand Seth, we must first feel the weight of that moment. Adam and Eve had walked in Eden. They had heard the voice of God. They had known perfection and then lost it. Now they stood outside paradise, and even outside their fallen world, death had entered. The first family was fractured by violence. The first parents buried a son. Into that darkness came Seth. He grew up not in Eden, but in exile. He grew up hearing stories of a garden he would never see. Imagine Adam telling him about the river that flowed through paradise, about the tree of life, about the voice of God walking in the cool of the day. Seth inherited not a kingdom, but a memory, not a paradise, but a promise. The Bible gives only a few verses about him, but those verses are strategically placed. They introduce a new genealogy, a new line distinct from Cain's descendants. Cain's line builds cities, forges metal, creates instruments of music. It is innovative, powerful, and ambitious, but increasingly violent. Lamech boasts of revenge 77-fold. Civilization rises, but morality declines. Then comes the quiet line of Seth. Genesis records something extraordinary. At that time, people began to call upon the name of the Lord. This awakening of worship is associated with Seth's descendants. While one line drifts toward corruption, the other bends toward God. In Jewish mystical traditions, especially within streams of Midrash and later Kabbalistic thought, Seth is far more than a name in a genealogy. He is seen as the spiritual heir of Adam. If Adam carried the memory of divine intimacy, then Seth became the keeper of that sacred memory. Mystical writings portray him as inheriting hidden wisdom, knowledge of creation, of the stars, of divine law passed orally from the first man. Think about what that means. Adam had walked with God. He had named the animals. He had witnessed the birth of humanity. When he aged, when his strength faded, who would carry